Sewing fanny sack. I think that's what we're sewing. So get down with a fanny sack. I got the parts here already splayed out. So take the zipper there and rip it. Hope everyone's having a great day. So in case you're new to this, you put something in the comments. We'll have a conversation about it. And I'll do a little bit of sewing. It's just kind of some sewing here to catch up on some work, basically. But I come on here every once in a while, and I do a live, and then that way people can, see some of the gear that we make and stuff like that. But this is the fanny sack. It starts out, you can start anywhere you want, but I usually start with the large zippered sections here. Does take a little bit of time to sew the zippers in. Something that I'd like to go a little slower on. And what I do is I just run, so here's one half of the zipper, and I'll run it straight into the next one. And that's really the fastest way to do it. That way I'm not cutting, stopping and cutting thread anywhere. I just run it straight into the next piece. So I'm gonna do a back stitch before I just go down the line with it. It's really not a fast process at all for sewing the zipper, especially if there's like contrasting stitching or anything like that. But throw something in the comments, and that way we can get a conversation started. If you are into sewing, then we can talk about sewing. If you're into tactical gear, we can talk about tactical gear as well. Okay, so I'm looking for the bottom pocket and the top part. So this is gonna form the section of the front. Like I said, just run through all this at the same time. For those of you that just joined, I'm sewing. You know that we do this live about once a week, and kind of give everyone an opportunity to see what we sew here. Tactical gear is what we sew. We do have some lifestyle gear offerings. This happens to be a fanny sack, so I'm just checking the tension on that. Okay, it's a bit much. But throw something in the comments, what y'all want to talk about. If you're joining us for the first time, you might want to subscribe so you can check out all the notifications, see where the action's at. For returning viewers, we usually put something in the comments, and that drives the conversation on things. All right, so now that I get to the very end of that, I'm gonna take this and I'll just cut it right there. Trash can, boom, right there. And what I'll do is I'll spend a little bit of time cutting these pieces apart. Go right above the trash can with it. If you want to even begin to think about the type of pile of trash that's actually on the floor right now, it's a lot. It's a lot of scraps. There's scrap material and stuff like that. Throw it in the pile. It might be useful later. That way we have some type of efficiency standard. try not to throw anything away, except that long piece of thread there. So thread is something that, you know, I don't know, these are like 6,000 yard spools of thread. But next we'll come here, we'll singe the ends with a lighter. That's just where we cut the zipper just now. It's nylon, so it'll melt. And this is just a Bic lighter. So we buy packs of these. You can get them at, you know, at Walmart or whatever. So that kind of thing. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Still don't have any comments. That's fine. Guess I'm entertaining by talking. So what we do here is we actually fold the zippers over, and I prefer it that way because it does have kind of the effect of protecting the zipper. It actually covers that zipper up. And so what we do is we have a technique where we fold this over. It's not really a machine that does this. It's all done by hand. And I'm going to crank the tension up just a little bit. That way we don't see any knots on the finished side. And then what I can do is kind of take and look at it with the light. I'll check the other side. No knots, so we're good to go. Once you have the machine tensioned to start with, you can pretty much do all your sewing with that amount of tension, and you'll be fine. There's some things like some thicker assemblies that we might get to that you may have to change the tension from time to time. So it can happen. All right, so we'll back up and then we'll go into the next piece. So just take the next piece, start it, fold it over. Run the machine into that next piece. I'll back it up. That locks in the stitch. And then we're going to just run that next one. All right, we got any sewers out here? Got any people want to learn how to sew? Okay, I guess everyone's enjoying the show. No comments. Got anyone out there with an order number currently? Let us know that you got an order number. If you put the order number in there, we can maybe see what your order status is. We usually are shipping things out depending on what you get, but next day on single items usually. Complex orders might be a couple days. Like if you order a full jungle rig or something like that, then you're probably going to be out a few days on lead time on that, but nothing we can't handle. All right, so this is going to be the last zipper here. It's on the front pocket. All right, so like I said, we go through all that and then we can cut it. And basically we just have this long chain here. It's all one big chain. So then I'll flip it over, and so far this is what we've done. You can see the zipper has been sewn in, and there's a little flap right there, and that's how we like to do our zippers. So we do like to put one more line of stitching there, and what that does is I don't know, you have two lines of stitching there. It looks better, but it's more stitches means that it's gonna you know, be very strong, very stable. So I'm just gonna run this through. I'm gonna check the tension on that. Yeah, I need to back off a little bit. Alright, so flip this over to the next piece. I'm gonna check that tension again. Yep, we're good. So when I get to this part, I can kind of punch it. Some of these longer pieces here. And this is as fast as this machine will allow me to sew. Alright, so we're going to run into that next piece. Then I can speed it up again. Right now the machine's running at maximum speed where I got the motor set right now. And there it is. It's expert sewing right there. But so what we did was 2 lines of stitching. Another piece and part right there. All right. So basically there's 2 lines of stitching. You see that? It's perfect. I'm not seeing the chat for some reason. Someone put something in the chat, like say hello or whatever, just so I know there is a chat. I don't know if I turned on the comments or what on this video. I think I've been telling everyone to comment and hadn't seen a comment yet. So, so what I do now is I just cut apart the pieces, which I just sewed. These are all the zippered parts. All right, yep, chat's working. Thank you, I appreciate that. Hello to you as well. All right, where's everybody watching from? How about we try that one? Got people from the United States watching. We're from the States, so North Carolina. It's on the eastern part of the U.S. Got anyone from around the world watching? Throw that in the comments. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm putting the zipper in. So with the zipper on the front, I'll run it all the way through and I'll check to make sure that both pieces are even. And then we'll run it back through the other side again. And then there's going to be a backer to this, which is actually going to form the zippered pocket there. So there it is. We use number 10 zippers on this particular fanny sack. Number 10 zippers means that the zipper won't hang up on you when you need the fanny sack to open. Being that we're in the United States, most people do carry pistols, so this would be a way that maybe perhaps people would like to carry their blaster. All right, what's up? Watching from Connecticut. Do you have somewhere where you post patterns at? And what is the best beginner project to build skills quickly? That's a very good question. So to answer your question, we don't post patterns somewhere. We got a room full of patterns. Like, well, we design this gear, so we make the patterns and we cut them out. So if you're wondering if I got the patterns from somewhere, no, they're all designed by us here. Now, there's a lot of companies that sew magazine pouches, for example, like all the same. So you'll find similarities from, you know, one company to another on that. So there's the big compartments opening zipper there. We'll just set that down. And then the best beginner project to build skills quickly. So I will probably say if you go to sellright.com, they got a bunch of well, the Sellright uh, YouTube channel has tons of like how-to videos, and I would probably learn how to like make sure you know how to thread the machine properly, know how to tension it. Um, you need to understand the machine timing. So when you're sewing, you need to make sure that the machine isn't sewing out of time because that'll make your stitches look like crap. So the difference between uh, like a $50 bag and like a $200 bag, which is what we make sometimes in here, is the stitching. It is the quality of the stitching. We use 500D quarter as well, so it's like top quality materials. But a lot of people want to start with belts, and belts are one of the hardest materials to sew. So you really have to understand the tensioning of the machine and everything. And first of all, you got a machine that'll sew a belt. Um, and I would probably recommend something like a toiletry kit bag. If you look on our website, you can see plenty of examples of those. So toiletry kit bags, it's just a simple bag. Um, as far as patterns, it is an absolute pain to design a bag. And the reason why is if you don't understand like the seams and stuff like that, uh, you'll probably you're gonna sew something together and it's just not gonna fit together right. So the way everything is sewn, it's um, all tactical gear does have something in common. Like magazine pouches are 3 inches wide, usually by about an inch thick, because AR mag has to go in there, and that's the dimensions of an AR mag. Also, like Molly gear is all, you know, 1 inch between the webbing rows and 1.5 inches for the columns. So two 1.5 inch columns makes 3 inches. Stuff like that. So if you make a chest rig, for example, is it a 3 mag or a 4 mag chest rig? So you like I could design a chest rig in, I don't know, 30 minutes, and so chest rigs seem to be pretty easy. Um, just have the thought in my mind, and then we have to get the pattern, of course. But yeah, I would just like buy some patterns, and then you could like change it to be whatever you want it to be. You could do that as well. I think I gotta go get some binding. Be right back. I got the wrong color binding up here. Had coyote brown on the table. This is black. That's what I really needed. So let's see. Tajik 101. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What you looking at sewing? If you're still there, from Connecticut. This is the internal pocket. It's going to go on the inside of the fanny pack, so this will give a person an option to a little place to put their cell phone and whatnot. So it's a nice little option that we give. Some companies that don't put internal pockets on bags in this price range for some reason. We do. It's just that little extra thing that we do. do a lot of these fanny packs, so clearly one of our most popular items. And usually I can sew one of these in my sleep. I've been sleepy sewing. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta get it done. So what I'm sewing is just a binder tape, and I'll show you what I'm doing as soon as I get this last part sewn. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut the ribbon there. Take that lighter and we singe it right then and there. All right, and then once we do that, I'm just going to go around it one more time. So this is that second go round. There's side 2, going down side 3. Okay, here's side 4. Alright, so this is a binder tape, and all it does is cover up that raw edge. So it's a ribbon material, and this is going to make the internal pocket. And I'll show you a trick. So I'm going to put a pull tab on this, and instead of just like getting out a ruler and wasting time, you know what I do? I fold it in half, and then I'll put a mark there. And this is just with a chalk pencil. You can get them, I mean, I essentially think it's a white pencil, but it's really what it is, like a colored pencil. And this is our pull tab here. So we just take a little, I think this is a 3-inch piece of 17-337 mil-spec web. Just kind of put that on there. All right, let's see here, more comments. Says, so far I've sewn up a double pistol mag pouch and a little pouch to put my harmonica. Okay, on a TAPS rig. Yeah, if you can upgrade that TAPS rig with your sewing, that would be awesome. Says, biggest struggle so far is gauging how much extra material to include in a pattern for the seams. Okay. Extra material. So for like a magazine pouch, I think we're folding over about 3/8 of an inch on the edge, and then we're gonna have about a 1/4 inch like from the edge of the mag pouch, like the finished edge. So when you go down the edge of that mag pouch, you got a you know, a line of stitching there. But you know, there's a piece of material that's been folded over that. Unless you're using Squadron, we don't use Squadron, which is that laminated Cordura. Because if you're using Squadron and you have a laser cutter, then you don't have to worry about that. You can just cut it, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's good. TAPS rig. That's a rig that could really use some upgrade. That's a. I can't even believe people actually wear those damn things. So yeah, the TAPS rig. I know exactly what rig you're talking about. Our micro rig is a great rig. our micro rig can actually hold 8 magazines. It fits 4 normally, but with the extra pockets on there, it'll hold up to 8. That is, if you don't want to put, you know, other stuff in there. So right now I'm just sewing in the Velcro, and this is the Velcro closure. Yep, so it's a pull tab, so that way you can open up the Velcro closure. So this is the Velcro that'll go on the inside. So the way this all works out is you're gonna have the inside of the pocket. This is basically the outside with the zipper. And so this is gonna get sewn to that. And then the internal pocket on the inside gets sewn in. And we need to sew the loop Velcro onto that. And then all this will get sewn together. I'd probably have this all done by now, but we're talking. So, yeah. So let's see here. I'm just gonna put this here, eyed up, centered up. Okay, I take my little chalk pencil here and just kind of chalk it out. And then we sew it. So for Velcro like this, I like to go around 2 times. The reason why is the hook grabs hold of the loop, and I just don't want to ever have that chance of, you know, just going in and out of that pocket with that hook Velcro grabbing the loop, and it ends up grabbing a stitch. And right now the seam is about 1/8 of an inch. In fact, that's what it is, because that's what the presser foot on this machine is. And then we're going to go around that second time. So that's the difference between well, this particular bag starts at $85. It's pretty typical price though for a made in USA bag, locally sourced. So let's see here. You got a TAPS upgrade kit from somewhere. Okay, we was using before. Massive improvement. That was still room for improvement. Yeah. So that TAPS rig, if as long as it's upgraded with I would say a good like H harness. But like I know I got an H harness over there. In fact, yeah, I'm looking at a rig. You want to see our chest rig? It'll blow that TAPS rig away. I'll show you a real chest rig here in just a second. That's what the Army needs to have. Yeah, that right there is a chest rig. Okay, this is an 8 mag double stack. As you can see, the inside of the pockets, they're Velcro lined. The magazines actually have their own slots. So with the pockets being Velcro lined, if you just hate bungees, you could just put Kiwis in there or Velcro mag retention, whatever you want. And then over here on the side, there's still 4 columns. So that is a real chest rig. And this is what our H harness looks like as well. It's padded. So we put there's a 1/4 inch close seal foam in there as well. And that is our chest rig. So That's what the Army does need to be using. If you order it in multicam, you'll get it faster. We always keep multicam pretty much in stock for that particular rig, and then I would say, like, we have some woodlands over there. I'm looking at 2, so there's 2 woodlands over there, and then let's see what else is over there. Multicam black. And if you wanted like Tropic or something like that, it would be like we just don't keep Tropic. No one orders Tropic. We'll build it. When you order it, we'll build it. If you ordered a pink one, we would still build it. But you wanna, you know, it'd be awesome though. You decked out a chest rig. I don't know. We'll do contrast and stitching. You can give us a call and say, hey, I want a pink chest rig, purple, pink, black, whatever you're into. I'll do it. So I'll do double stitching on this internal pocket, just so that there's just no way that it would ever rip. Just kind of tack in that last little piece. Okay. Right into the trash. So there's the internal pocket. And that's where, you know, you can throw extra magazine, I guess. And the inside of these bags are Velcro lined anyway. So, all right. So now the outside of this is gonna mate to that. Just make sure I didn't have that upside down. I've done that before. And then we'll just sew these 2 pieces together. That's how that works out. Okay, here we go. So the way this pattern works is it's gonna like kind of pillow up a little bit. And so if you learn to like press that into that corner just right, it's gonna help give the pocket on the front here a little bit of volume. You know, it'll have more volume. There'll be a little bit of depth there. And we're fixing to go up and over the zipper. So when we sew through zippers, I just sew through it. So start right here and kind of go through it slow. I'm gonna back up a couple times. And this is what I was talking about, kind of pleat. That's the sewing term for it. So I'll kind of pleat this corner here. And that's gonna help kind of give the bag a little bit of depth. And then that way, when the bag goes together, you know, you don't have 2 flat pieces that are sewn together and there's, you know, it's a flat pocket, you know, so it does help give the bag just a little bit of depth. And that's just something that, you know, if you're trying to develop patterns, over time, you know, you may sew a product for a while and you'll figure out, you know, I think I'll adjust this by a 1/4 inch, or, you know, like those are things that you'll just have to get through experience, you know. From the time that, you know, we started sewing, You know, we've had a few design changes on a couple things, but not huge, drastic things. So going over that zipper on the other side. Now, when I get here, I want to try to like get that pleat the way I want it, and pull that material in. And that'll give us that volume that we were talking about again. And so just a little pleat, just kind of fold it over right there. There'll be a little bit of room there. So I'm just double checking the zipper, making sure that we're good to go on that. Okay, yep. That way we're not getting any zipper failures, which we use the number 10 zippers anyway. There isn't going to be a zipper failure. I feel like I'm missing a piece. So I got a piece around here that is, I don't know where that piece went. Well, that was kind of the one that I had on my mind to do next. It's like the biggest piece in the pattern. Somebody did not get this thing. I'm gonna have to go find one. Well, if there'll be something that ruins the video, right? All right, so meanwhile, we'll do the flat filled seams on the zipper. So basically, we got to find a way to hide that ugly end like that, and it's done this way. So we take these two bottom pieces here, and we're gonna sew what's called a flat filled seam on that. So we just kind of turn it inside out to start with, and we sew right through the zippers. And here we're gonna have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's on this particular pattern, that is stated in the directions. So if there's one part of sewing this particular bag that you just absolutely are going to screw up, it would be this one. So this particular part right here. So we're going to keep that 1/2 inch seam allowance. On this sewing machine, there's like a seam allowance guide, I don't know, whatever. There's little measuring things for it. So, all right, so there's that side. We'll come here, we'll cut it. And then we're gonna come here and get this other end. And we're gonna do the same thing to it. So I'm doing this the fast way. So this is the way to do it if you're trying to save time. It's very difficult to explain exactly how I'm folding this. But this is like it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a secret on how to do it this way. It's just, if you've been sewing a while, you're gonna know there's a shortcut to everything. So I'm not sewing this stuff in little individual pieces and then trying to sew up the pieces together. So I just kind of can go ahead and knock it all out, kind of like this. And then when we see, that's what I just did. I just sewed all that in one little way. So Then I'll come back, I'll put a top stitch on it. And I use 2 lines of stitching for the top stitch. I'll say between where that flat filled seam is, that's a 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to go back through that zipper again, and I'm going to do a little bit of reversing. I like to tack where the zipper is, and the reason for that, it just really locks it in. And then we're going to do what is this, about a 1/4 inch or so from that last line of stitching. So 2 lines of stitching always really finishes that up. Here, I'll show you. So there's 2 lines of stitching there. Right here is where I really tacked it. So I went back and forth a couple times there, and this is where the zipper is. As you can see, it's in there. See how flat that is? And this is how it looked before. So you can see the end of the zipper. This makes it so that on the inside of the bag, you don't see where, you know, the zipper stops and starts. So there's a 1/2 inch before you're absolutely to the end of that zipper. And so first of all, we tack this in, and then we pull that flat filled seam like that. And then we tack that in again. Like our zipper ain't coming apart, man. Like, it's not happening. So we're gonna do the exact same thing for this one. So what I'm doing is I'm putting tension on the fabric, but try not to put any tension on that needle. You gotta let the needle go straight up and down. If you put tension on that needle, it'll strike that needle plate, knock this freaking machine at a time. I'm using a, what is this, an 18 size needle and Tech 70 thread. There that part is, so I can take it, cut it, snip it. Have 1 thread over there. So this would be like the bag, you know, the zippered part, you know, going around in the circle there. While I got this, I did not mark where halfway was, because that's where I'll sew, let's see here, what is that, 6 and 3. Just make a little pencil mark there. This is how we know where to start when we sew the bottom onto the front and back. All right, so that'll do. And no one's ever going to see that pencil mark, because with the seam that we have when we sew the final bag together, no one's going to see it. You know what? I really got to find that missing piece, because I don't know where it's at. Thought I had it. I had all the pieces right here on this floor. Gonna be a short video. Yep. Well, I have no idea what happened to that piece. It's the whole back piece, so I won't be able to complete the bag here on video at this particular time, but I think everyone got in enough view time as well. We've been on about 45 minutes now, so give it about another 20 minutes, I would have completed the bag, but I have no idea where that part is. It's essentially the back of the bag. Maybe the least I could do is go get a bag for people to see an example. So they come this way in a bag. So this one here's in M81 Woodland. There's the little side pieces of the fanny sack. You got that right there. Right here's the inside of the bag. So Velcro lining so you can attach like a holster. And then over here on this particular model, you got that internal pocket that I was talking about. And the whole fanny sack zips up, with these number 10 zippers, just like that. So that's what a completed fanny sack would look like. So if you're interested in getting one of these, visit us at smallarmscombativesgear.com. Right there is the website pretty much. And some folks were asking about patterns, and honestly, if you just, I don't know, buy one of these bags and take 2 hours to rip the threads apart, and you can take the pieces and trace them out, then there you go. You would have some patterns. So let's see, Tajik, you were talking about like a mag pouch, like, I don't know, like buy one of our mag pouches, cut it apart. It's going to take you a while to cut it. You're going to need a really sharp knife too. And you might say some ugly words, but just take it, cut it apart. With our stuff, I don't think you're going to be able to cut apart a chest rig because we put more stitches and tacks in it. It ain't gonna worth it. But for things like the simple bags to like learn how to sew, just buy something and cut it apart and figure out how it's sewn. You got to be careful though with like proprietary stuff and things which are patented. If you have straight up just absolutely copied a design, you got to be really careful, especially if you're selling. If you're just sewing it for yourself, then you're going to be fine. But if you have totally copied a design where it's exactly the same as far as how the function works and everything, and then you're selling it, you could be looking at a like a patent infringement. So you don't want that. There's larger companies, they do have lawyers, and they are, they're prepared to do stuff with them. They got the money to spend to deal with it. So anyways, hope everyone enjoyed it. This is what we were sewing. It's a fanny pack, so if you want one, visit the website right there. I'll take some more comments before we sign off. If not, I appreciate everyone for watching. You would hit that like button once again. I think we had a great conversation, just as always. And if you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe, hit the like button, and throw something in the comments. We would appreciate it. And we do appreciate everyone who has been watching us so far. And I hope everyone has an awesome and great day. Over and out.